Hi everybody, Grandma Bev here from Life with Grandma Bev. And happy Friday! Now you'll be seeing this Saturday, but I had to do it as soon as we got home. We just got home from the movies and we went and saw Top Gun Maverick. Okay? Now, I probably don't have to tell you too much about it. I think, are there any people around that didn't see the first one? So, when the first one came out, my oldest son was a sophomore in high school. So, that's how long ago it was. And, I don't know how many times we saw it, but my sons and my daughter, because Michelle was, under 10. We went to the movies all the time, the kids and I, in the afternoons. We'd take off and, because it was cheaper. And my one son could even say almost every word of that was said in it. He could say the whole thing. He was so into it. So, of course, I had to go see it this year. Well, to me, it seemed like to do it any honor, you had to go see it in a movie theater. Not wait for it to come out where you could stream it. Well, I was right. I was glad we did go. We made our reservations last night, and of course the theater was pretty much full. It's now a reserved seat. So of course I had a person next to me. I had Bobby at one side and a person next to me. So I always feel like I want to wear my mask when I'm in a theater like that with just somebody right there. So let's get to the movie. Now, I'm sure it was rated R because there were a few words in it, So the movie starts. We're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then starts showing all these darn previews. Before those previews of movies, there were previews of streaming things on Prime. Oh, God, a piece of popcorn in my tooth. So anyway, the movie starts how you think it would. I felt like I was watching the first one. Okay? It starts out, with that music going, boom, that one, that kind of leads up to it. They're showing them on the ground with the big planes around and all this. And, of course, the goosebumps start. Then it gets to the point where all of a sudden they're on the ship and it's da, 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 da. The goosebumps just go crazy. It was like I was watching the first movie. And there were a lot of similarities. It took place many years later, but so much it was the same. Except this time, Tom Cruise was the one doing the teaching, where last time, Kelly McGinnis was the teacher, of these best of the best. This time, though, they did have their token woman for one of the people. And of the best. They had what I would consider an equivalent to the character that Val Kilmer played back when they were in it. They had, remember Goose? Goose was the fun part of the movie back then. Well, of course, Goose died. They couldn't bring him back, but instead they had Miles Teller play Goose's son. And his call name was Rooster. Did that make sense? Yeah. So we had Rooster, we had Hangman instead of Iceman. A lot of the typical things. Of course, they kind of glamorize in the bar, where they're all having fun and, and everything. The same thing as before. Tom Cruise, of course, gets a love interest, but it seems like it was somebody he knew before, so I'd have to research that to figure that out. But they had a different character playing his love interest, and she was it was Jennifer Connelly, who was about 10 years younger than Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise still had his jack, once he was told he was going to go back to teach this, and he's still a captain. As they say, you don't wonder why you haven't advanced up, why you're still a captain. It's because he you know, he tends to break the rules, which he did in this movie too. So he gets on his motorcycle with his jacket on, and he's zooming down the road to go to San Diego is where they were teaching them. And then when he goes out with this one gal, of course, he brings her home, and she's on the back of the motorcycle, and they're going down. I mean, you know, it just, to me, it was just so similar. Similar storylines, but different, you know. John Hamm played kind of his direct superior. You know, John Hamm from Mad Men. And, of course, Val Kilmer was in it as the commander who had insisted that Tom Cruise be the one. So, you know, a lot of the same people were back, or the same characters. Of course, there's always excitement, you know, the planes everywhere and practicing. And when you think it's probably over, it's not. Just like in the last one. I thought at one point it was over, getting ready to leave. No, it continued. So, of course, they did Kenny Loggins' song. They did a lot of other good songs, too. A lot of them, of course, that we would recognize. They did one, I think it's a Kenny Loggins song. Because didn't they do Kenny Loggins songs for all the CSI TV programs? So the song from CSI Miami was in there. Of course, there's conflict between Maverick and Rooster, because Rooster, you know, thinks that Tom was responsible for Goose's death. So it was real thrill-packed, you know. I don't want to give away too much of it, but I can say it was different, but similar. Everybody did a good job. I mean, you know, those kind of films, it's fairly easy to do a good job. What didn't I like about it? I feel like, and maybe these gals didn't want to come back, I feel like they could have found a spot for Kelly McGillis, maybe in a different, higher position. I know she looks older now, because she is a little older than Tom, and she's gotten heavy. But still, I read somewhere where I think she didn't even know they were going to do it until they did it. And, of course, Meg Ryan. I thought they could have found a spot for Meg Ryan, maybe telling Tom, oh, don't let my son go up, you know. But instead they said that she had died. So, you know, I missed those two characters, and of course Goose, but what can you do, being he died in the first one? So that was my only negative, was that they didn't bring back the two women. They brought back a younger one for Tom. And that's about it. So I think it got a very high rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll look it up when I edit this and I put it on here. But it was a movie that was easy for me to remember to come do my video on, because it was so similar to the other one, and I'd seen the other one so many times. So, of course, Tom Cruise doesn't look a whole lot older. Oh, they even had, instead of a volleyball scene, they had a football, like tag football kind of scene. So they had them all in their, you know, their shorts and no shirts. And, you know, of course, to be in that movie, you have to be in good shape to be in that position. So, you know, eye candy there. So, what else was real obvious? Well, not real obvious, but kind of typical. They just, they make so much of it look too fun to me, like when they're in the bars and stuff, and, you know. Anyway, that's just me. And, of course, this is just all totally my opinion of the movie. Bob loved it, of course. So, I don't want to say anymore because I don't want to give it away. So, comment below. Oh, what did I give it? I'll give it 5 stars. Comment below. Share, like, and subscribe. And I hope you all had a good Friday. We did. We had our popcorn and our movie like we always do. Lou was upset because we left the house instead of having our popcorn and a movie here. So now she's just hanging around Bob like crazy. So, again, hope you're all having a good weekend. I love you. Bye.